back for number 10 video in the series of learning help desk tickets. This is going to be great for anybody who is trying to get into help desk or somebody who is already working help desk. There are many problems and there are many solutions, and that's the whole point of these videos. So let's keep making them and let's keep learning. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Like I said, this is number 10 video in the series. We're just going to keep it going. We're going to keep working tickets. My name is Irvin, also known as Kobuman. What we're doing here is working tickets from an actual ticketing system that might be used in a help desk. Some companies use this ticketing system. This one happens to be called Jira. It's very popular. And people submit tickets to me that I work. So these are actual tickets that people send me from viewers. I really appreciate it. And some of them are submitted by me. It's depending on whether it's something that I feel like it's been missed out and needs to be talked about. But for the most part, these are real tickets submitted by real people. Okay, before we start, please do me a favor and in the comment below, just say hi, hello, or present, sort of like in the class. It's one of those things that keep me motivated to keep making more of these videos. Yeah, like I said, just kind of like, sort of like in the classroom. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if you want to submit your own ticket, you can use the link in the description. No, I'm sorry. It's going to be a link in the first comment submitted by me. It's going to be a pinned comment by Kobume. All right. I also want to especially thank you to people who became members of the channel. It's really appreciated. Again, it's not necessary. All of my stuff is always going to be free. All of my content is always going to be 100% free. But if you do choose to send a couple of bucks my way, you get 24-hour early access for all the videos that happen in the future. And it just basically, I buy coffee with that. It's not much, it's by the time YouTube takes their cut, it's enough for me to just have coffee for the month. Thank you so much. Okay, yeah, let's just get into it. To be honest, I'm a little bit out of it today. I'm not feeling 100%, but I'm going to try my best because I don't want to let you guys down because I know you're expecting a video on either a Saturday or a Sunday. So I'm not feeling 100% well, but yeah, here we go. First ticket is nothing is printing. None of my documents are printing. As always, assign the ticket to yourself first before you do any work so you get credit for it. Nothing is printing. We've talked about many tickets already that were related to printing. Considering this is a number 10 video, chances are that printing is one of the most common issues has come up. And this is from Justin Grenfell. Thank you very much, Justin. I appreciate you submitting this. And it says here, nothing is printing. None of my documents are printing. Unfortunately, Justin, when you don't provide enough information, I can't really talk about much of it because I don't know exactly what's going on, because the description itself just says none of my documents are printing. So there could be many issues. It could be that your printer is not plugged in, whether it's your personal printer, it's not plugged in, simply not plugged in, whether it's over the USB, different type of connections, serial, FireWire, or whatever it is, Bluetooth, or it's not powered on, or you don't have a driver installed, or printing is disabled locally. This could be the same thing could be true for the network printer if you have a network printer attached. I probably should put up printers here just to kind of give a visual idea. If you don't see your printer listed under printers and scanners, so you go to search and type in printers or scanners on your computer, and if you don't see it listed here, then it's not installed, right? So it's not installed, whether it's not, and it could show up as not installed simply by not being plugged in, right? If you plugged it in and you know it's powered on, then go to the device manager. The device manager as an administrator, what you saw is that, I just opened it up as a regular user. And if you go to imaging devices, I believe, yeah, it's going to be under imaging devices, I'm pretty sure. I don't have a printer connected right now. Right now, under imaging devices, what shows up is that webcam. Remember, we talked about this webcam and we did some troubleshooting on one of my previous videos. But it would show up is here, and if it shows up where there's like an exclamation mark to it or something like that, what you want to do is right click it, and then right now I have it open as just a regular user, but you will have more options here, and then select update driver or go to properties driver and then update driver. Or you can also do one of these things where you right click it and delete it, and then once you delete it, you can select scan for hardware changes. Here, let's do that. What was the so if your computer, if you want to pull up device manager while user is logged in, you want to pull it up as administrator, you have to type in this command. You can type in, I believe it's called dev mgmt, and that is .msc. Yeah. So once you see it come up, you can just right click it, or here, let's just do this. I have it really disabled here. It will show up a regular icon for device manager, but under the command right here, you'll see that device mgmt comes up .msc. So this is the actual thing that opens up. So it's called device manager, but the actual executable is dev mgmt.msc. And then you can right click it. Oops. Okay. All right, dev mgmt.msc, and then you can run it as administrator. You see how it comes up right here? It's in System32. You can browse through it. See Windows System32. That's where all of your Windows executables are in there. Including like control panel, all these things that are part of the function of Windows. So you can just select run as administrator. And now I can type in my administrator password. And now you have it open as now. So let's look at the example. I'm going to leave this expanded here because there is a next ticket that I saw there about something about driver error. So for a hard drive. So we'll leave that there like that expanded as a reminder. So here's imaging devices. So if I right click now you can see that update driver, disable driver, uninstall device comes up. So here I would do uninstall device. Don't do disable because it will show up just like this drive here. It would just disable it. Or you can try it, disable, and just disables it, and that's it. But what we want to do is remove it. So if there's like an exclamation mark, which usually dictates that it's not installed properly or wrong driver, then we would uninstall it. You can do update driver and that might fix it, but what I like to do is remove it completely. So, and then I'm going to, well, you can say delete the driver software for this device as well. So let's do that. Let's see what happens. What this should do is going to remove any drivers that are locally available for this type of product, and for this case that was just a webcam. But if we go up here and select scan for hardware changes, it's going to look for whatever is plugged in that's not installed, and then it's going to attempt to install it with the driver that it has, or it's going to go through and download the correct driver and then install it. Here right now, here's that exclamation mark that I told you about that might happen, and it looks like it found the driver. Whether install it properly, we don't know yet. Sometimes it takes a few seconds. It doesn't look like it. So in this case, we're going to go to driver here and right click. You see how it takes a little bit, and see it actually did it. I was about to do this update driver, but it eventually went ahead and Windows by itself went ahead and downloaded the correct driver, although you saw me remove it. So that's what was happening right there. Or it just took a little bit to install. So either way, this could fix your problem. Okay, so I hope you watch this video because I don't know exactly what's going on. And this ticket has been open for a while now. Normally, you don't want to close any tickets when you're working help desk until you get a response. But, you know, since I've never talked to Justin before, I would have to do introduction like you guys see me do this before. Hello, this is Irvin, and of course use your own name. I mean, unless your name is Irvin. This is Irvin with PC support. I always, for some reason, I only PC support. I leave that C lower cap for some reason, just a habit. This is Irvin with PC support, and I'm going to say I have your ticket about printer not working. May I take control of your computer to have a look? So this is what I would do, and take control of their computer. Of course, you guys probably watched my videos before. The way you would take control of their computer is by asking their host name, which is their computer name, also known as workstation name, or the IP address of their computer. And that information is available for them if they work for a company, uh, you know, and it will be basically like an icon with information on it. On the desktop, there will be some kind of information, or there just might be even be a sticker on their computer with a host name, with a computer name. And then you would take control with something like Dameware, which is a remote control tool. I would just type it in here, and I would have full control of their computer as if I'm sitting in front of it. You can send them a link that would invite them to a session in which you can take control of their computer. You can start a meeting, Zoom meeting, a WebEx meeting, or whatever, and then take control of their computer, and then I'll look at it. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to also reply. I'm going to assume that this is what we've done already, what I've showed you, and you want to wait. You always want to wait for a customer to reply. In this case, we're going to pretend, because I have a lot of tickets, guys. I'm going to have to close some of these tickets. But normally you want to resolve issue before you close any tickets. I'm going to pretend like I've actually resolved it. Because I was going to select reply to customer, but in this case, I simply have to keep going. You know, in a help desk environment, do not close tickets until you have resolved them. Do not forward them until you've tried all you can. Like if you have to forward it to help desk tier 2 or tier 3, don't do it until you tried everything that you can to fix it to the best of your knowledge. Okay? And in this case, I'm going to pretend like I fixed it just by doing what I showed you. Because if it's a regular printer, there really isn't a whole lot we can do. And I'm assuming here none of my documents are printing. Oh, I probably should mention this. So he might have documents stuck in a print queue. And for this, you want to open up services. So services.msc, just like we did with Device Manager. Type in services.msc, services.msc, and look for print spooler. And it says here it's running. Make sure it's running, right? Like this. If it's not running, make sure you start it or restart it. Okay, and or if it's running and then he can't print, that means that the print jobs could be stuck in the queue. It's stuck in the queue and it's just not working. So you might want to stop and then restart again. Okay. So that's just the one last thing. And I'm going to just say here, resolve issue. I like to talk to customers on the phone personally, but you can do it whatever you want, IM or whatever else you have available, by installing printer driver. The reason I didn't talk about print spooler because I had a different ticket in a previous video, guys. If you haven't watched the previous videos, one of them has a printer. It's labeled. It's all clearly labeled. My videos in this whole series. And you might want to check that one out because I go more into detail of what's going on with the print spooler and and the network printer install and stuff like that. But in this case, it wasn't network printer necessarily install. This is, this is what we talked about in this situation. Of course, I can't get a hold of Justin. Justin, I hope you watch this video and do all the things that I've mentioned. All right, I'm going to mark it as resolved. Again, you don't want to close these tickets until they're resolved. I'm just doing it because I have 13 more tickets, 12 more tickets, I'm sorry, that we need to work. But usually you might want to follow up once or twice, maybe even 3 times, depending on what the situation is, until you actually close the ticket. Very important. All right, next one, trouble code. All right, the device. Okay, so this is from Jeremy Fink. Thank you very much, Jeremy, for submitting this. Assigned ticket to myself. Device hard disk drive DR0 has a bad block. Now, I have a really good idea what this is, and we're going to try some of the troubleshooting steps what we could do to possibly resolve this. Usually when you see this type of error, I'm going to tell you right now, when there's a bad block, that means there's something physically going on with the hard drive. I mean, it could be going bad. Now let's see if we have any other information. And looks like Jeremy added more information. Thank you very much, Jeremy. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate you. See, you probably have more information. This is wonderful. Windows 10, 64-bit, and it's an Optiplex 1920 here in the note. So Optiplex 1920 is a Dell computer, and it's about, heck, I want to say almost 10 years old. So chances are this is a regular hard drive that's installed in it, meaning it's a classic magnetic type of hard drive, for which this error is pretty common. Okay. All right. So if you're unsure what these mean, it's perfectly okay, because this is part of your learning process to simply just do a search. And I know this is going to come up as probably a bad drive or part of the bad drive that's going bad. All right, search web. Okay. So here's just some suggestions from the internet, and usually go for like some of the first things that come up, and then we got here, it says, how do I fix hard drive disk? Do some of the research here if you want, but chances are that the drive itself is just physically going bad. So what we're going to do is run some commands that will possibly confirm our situation. You can do hardware diagnostic if your computer has hardware diagnostic disk or built into BIOS. You can do that, but for this we're going to do check disk, what they call check disk, and it's something that's built in within Windows operating system. And for us to access it, we're going to use command line, or what's also formally known as DOS, right? Nobody calls it DOS anywhere, but it's called command prompt or command line sometimes, but it's command prompt. So just type in CMD in your search and pull up command line, and we're going to run it as administrator because we're going to run some check disk action. Check disk is basically a built-in diagnostic tool that will check the drive for bad sectors. So to run a check disk, let's see, I don't do this often. I believe it's CHDSK, check DSK, check, I think it's this. And then if you do a F, it repairs it, I believe, or if you do R, it searches for bad sectors or something like that. Let me confirm this. And again, guys, this is, you can't remember everything. You can't remember everything, all the commands, because it doesn't come up often. So it's okay to use Google to find some check disk commands. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nobody's requiring you to remember everything exactly. As long as you have an idea in the back of your mind that, hey, I can use check disk to see if I can fix this drive, you know. So here it is, a document from Microsoft for a check disk command. And this is a good place here to actually look at this. You see how they have tons of different commands you can do in Windows through the command prompt, and even PowerShell as well. But we're going to stick with check disk for now. All right, so it's CHKDSK, CHKDSK. All right, so I was somewhat close. CHKDSK. Okay, CHKDSK. Then we're going to do spacebar, and we're going to look for some of these commands. I'm going to, okay, let's look at this on the website itself. All right, here's F. Okay, so I was right. F fixes the errors on disk. Okay, so that's what we'll attempt to fix it. Basically, what it does, it goes through and it formats the drive in such a way. Well, I don't know if it formats it per se, like format as in erase everything, but it tells the computer operating system not to use bad sectors, bad, in this case, blocks, right? Bad blocks, which are basically parts of the hard drive that store memory. It's just a little tiny part of the hard drive that stores the memory. And then what was the other? R locates, serial /R locates bad sectors and recovers readable information. All right, so we got it ready. Here's our device manager. Here's a broken hard drive. I'm going to enable it, and hopefully it doesn't cause me problems, because I have a video on this. This drive is bad, and I have a great video on this and shows you an example of what a bad hard drive looks like. I highly suggest you watch it. I'm going to put an error, and on the top right, you'll see it pop up. So you might want to watch this video to show you exactly an example. This is the one video. This is the drive that I showed you about. So I'm going to enable it, and hopefully it doesn't crash my computer because it was slowing it down really bad. But I have to enable it because we have to do a check disk on it. And it's enabling it. And you see how my computer is not responding right now? Hopefully it doesn't crash my computer. It's a really good example of a, and I think I got to a point on that video where I could show you in detail even log files in the event manager, what it's called inside of the computer, which keeps the records of system log files that shows you errors for the specific hard drive. And that's a sign of a hard drive going bad, which chances are the same thing is happening for this user as well. So I'm waiting for it to enable. I cannot run check disk on drives that are currently being used. The check disk usually comes up whenever your computer crashes, and it does a check disk. So if you want to see it, and I don't recommend you actually do this, but if you really want to see it, unplug your computer from the power right now, and it's going to crash, and it's going to say, oh, something went wrong with your computer. We're going to run a check disk to make sure everything's okay before we boot up. That's when check disk comes up and looks for issues. And then you can repair some of these basic things. Again, this one's not going to work because it's freezing my computer. I really wanted to show you, because if I run, because I have disk drive, let's see here. I think I have disk drive E. Which drives I have? So I have C, E, and F. Let's just do F, which is not part of the operating system. So if I navigate to F, and then I type in well, I'm going to show you both. It looks like it maybe did actually install or re-enable the other one, but we'll see. So if I do it on F, which CHKDSK/R, remember this is the one that scans for bad sectors. So if I go back to the website, you can see it locates bad sectors and recovers readable information, which just means that it tells you if there's something wrong. You can see that I can't do it because volume is used by another process. That means the operating system is using it. you may run this volume if you dismount it first. Okay, so and then you would have to reboot. Would you like to force a dismount on this volume? So let's see what happens. Yes? All right, cool. So it dismounted. It means it basically disconnected it from the operating system. That's what that did. And now it's looking for bad clusters, bad blocks, bad sectors, clusters. Kind of the same thing. Kind of the same thing. So that's what it's doing right now. It's scanning our F. And here's the, well, I guess we may not have to deal with this. I'm going to go ahead and disable. I'm going to disable this WDC back again because it's a really bad drive and it's causing me problems. But I did leave it there for educational purposes. Again, I have a video on this where it shows you all the errors. It's like a clear cut, aside from freezing up like this, clear cut broken hard drive. So I highly suggest you would watch this and bookmark this video because I'm going to have, you know, a ticket or two more in this video for. I don't want you to miss it out. So it's looking for bad clusters, and you know it may take a while because I think it's a 500 gigabyte hard drive, and it'll take a while. Now you can do the same thing, and it'll give you results. I may not have time to wait for the results here, but after that, you can do the command F. So chkdsk and then /F, which will attempt to fix errors on the disk. And you can do the same thing. After this completes, it'll tell you if there's anything wrong. This with the error, with the result, it will tell you if there's anything wrong. So I'm going to leave this running, and then hopefully by the time I do a ticket or two more, it'll be done. We'll see. I don't know. But let me open up just another regular CMD. I want to show you what you would type in. Well, I got it open. Just the regular command prompt without administrator privileges, also known as elevator privileges. So it doesn't let me navigate. It says access is denied. That's fine, but I just want to show you the afterwards you type in chkdsk /, so it's space /F, which would fix or it would attempt to fix any errors. Okay, you see how it's freezing it up here? I'm gonna leave that be, and I'm just gonna move on because I don't want to mess with that broken hard drive that I already have a video for. So there is that, but chances are it's just a bad hard drive. Okay, and I'm just going to reply to the customer, and I'm going to say this. And if you don't have physical access to the computer, then you may have to forward the ticket to somebody who's like on site. They have on-site tech, or a tech that goes from place to place that will fix issues at different business locations. So if you may get sometimes hired as to do help desk, but you also may be hired to be an on-site tech guy, which could mean traveling sometimes. They may have like 3 different locations, and throughout the day, your work day, you may travel 2 or 3 times. I don't know. But anyways, if you have physical access, you can change the hard drive, or you can do this diagnostic, you know, all of this stuff, and attempt to fix it by doing so. But in this case, I'm going to reply to Jeremy and say this is most likely a bad hard drive. You can attempt to fix by using let's see, I'm going to attempt, because Jeremy sounds to me like somebody who works on their own computer. Okay, and again, in a help desk environment, this is the work that you would do yourself. But here we are improvising because these tickets are coming from my viewers, you know. It's just his personal computer, most likely. You can attempt to fix by using chkdsk /F command. And what is this coming up? I don't know what that exclamation is. Anyways, I'm just gonna, that's fine, whatever. Oh, it didn't, oh, look at this. CHK DSK /. Oh, is this just stupid thing? CHK does, that was just related to the ticketing system just being goofy. Inside of CMD, but make sure you run as admin. This may fix the problem temporarily. Of course I didn't spell that. English is my second language, so I of course I misspelled that. I knew how to spell it, it's just that I'm tired and I feel off today. This may fix the problem temporarily. However, it most likely is going to be a bad hard drive that needs to be replaced. I suggest upgrading to an SSD storage. I don't know. I was gonna say solid state drive, but SSD D means drive, so you know. I hope that helps. Otherwise, you would send them to their local tech, or who there has to be somebody within the company who can fix this, right? Somebody, there has to be a guy or a group somewhere that will handle this. You know, if it's under warranty, in this case, this computer is not under warranty. If it's under warranty, they would fix it. And if not, they might replace the hard drive somehow. Well, as in like, if it's under warranty, they might just send a different computer or send a tech. Sometimes they do send a tech to the location. Like if it's a Dell computer, they have a contractor that works for Dell, and that contractor comes to the location, to the office where the person works, and then they fix it right there. Whether it's hard drive or entire motherboard or whatever. I've called them before too, under warranty, and they would come to my office, and you know I could do it, but it's under warranty, and the company's paying for the warranty, so you come, and that's actually creating jobs for him too. So I was fine with that. I could do all of this easy, you know. But if they want to send a contractor that's gonna, you know, he's got a family to feed, yeah, send him. I'm good with my job. It's a little bit irrelevant, I guess. I'm gonna say that it's fixed by replacing. You know what? I'm not gonna say it's fixed. I'm gonna say forwarded ticket. This is an internal note, not the reply to customer. Customer is not going to see this. Forwarded ticket to on site tech to replace the hard drive. Irvin. Sometimes you would forward these tickets to local tech. All right, and I'm going to, in this case, I'm going to mark it as resolved, but you guys would actually, this would actually be forwarded. My ticketing system here is not set up to forward tickets because this is just for me. This is not my company's ticketing system, you know, the company I work for. So I don't have it set up so that I have a team of people. I don't have a team of people to forward this to, you know. This is all situational thing where we're talking about. It's fictitious, right? It's a real issue. It's a real issue that Jeremy here has, but this setup I have is fictitious, meaning that this, you know, ticketing system is not a real company's ticketing system. It's used by real companies, but I created this for you guys and for me. All right, here's the next one from Farman Ula. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Thank you very much for submitting a ticket. It says, Dear Irvin. Oh, hey, thank you. Oh, that's a very nice introduction. We are having an issue with Outlook 2013. Each time we're trying to search for recently received emails, like today's or yesterday's emails, Outlook is displaying weeks old emails. Oh, wow, okay. That is weird. Outlook search issue. We're having an issue with Outlook 2013. It's an Outlook 2013. It's obviously it's an older Outlook. Each time we're trying to search for recently received emails, like today's or yesterday's emails, Outlook is displaying weeks old emails, but not the other ones, I guess. So my question would be here. This is affecting multiple people. This is actually an excellent ticket. It's affecting multiple people from what I can tell. And it's not just one person. And my question would be to Farman, be like, hey, is this just you? Or is it just, everybody? Is it everybody in the company? So if the issue is just you, I would look locally and see whether you, Farman, or user that you might have, because it sounds like you're an IT guy as well. I would look to see if the user is correctly performing a search. Sometimes you have to kind of assume if it's one person, especially if it's just one person that puts in a ticket. You have to take a look to see what's going on and then say, go ahead and show me. Go ahead and show me what you're doing. That way you would check to see if they're doing it correctly or not. If they're performing search properly or not. Right, this is the first thing you would do, right? If it's affecting everybody, that issue is definitely with the server, with the Exchange server for Outlook 2013. It's the Exchange server. So you would have to have direct access to it. If you don't have access to it, then you would have to reach out to the Exchange server support or email support. There has to be a group, there has to be an administrator that needs to look into this. And that's what it sounds like. And it also says here urgency high, significant large. Impact is significant large. That means it usually means it's a lot of people. So with just this information given, we have no choice but to contact the server, administrator, server contact. So if I were you, I would get onto this right away. And if it's affecting, now companies have different rules about this. Sometimes they say, well, how many people are affected? If you say, I don't know, it's 5 people, if it's 5 people, they may say, well, that doesn't justify us contacting server admins or whatnot. And who am I talking about here? If you happen to be tier 2 help desk or higher, or if you're like Farman, probably he's probably doing some kind of tech support. Hey, let me know actually, Farman, in the comment what you do. But he might be like on site. He might be just a system support guy. He could be a business systems analyst, as far as we know. Like me, I'm a business systems analyst, and these issues do come to me, where it's affecting multiple people. And what I would do when I know for sure, and you just have a feeling that there's something wrong with the server, and not just a feeling, but you get this from the feedback from the users. You get 5 people, you get 10 people, but sometimes you have to contact what they call, in my company, it's called a crisis bridge. All right, it's a bridge in the sense that it's a conference call. It's a large conference call where there are a lot of people collaborating to fix large issues that affect the entire company or maybe large groups. So when you call them and you say, I have 5 people, they may not start a bridge. They may not start a conference line. They may not start paging people to fix this issue. So even if you're doing help desk tier 1, in the future, this information is good to know to prepare you of what you are expected to do in the future. So, you know, I'm assuming here that it's going to be usually more than 10 people. They're going to say, okay, fine, we're going to start a bridge. We're going to start paging people. We're going to start waking people up. Because, we have support groups that are in multiple locations. We have people in US. We have people in UK. We have people in, I don't know, India, Philippines, all over the world, right? It doesn't matter. But it's a different time zone in India compared to US. Right? And I'm using these 2 examples intentionally because there's a lot of outsourcing to India and there's a lot of collaboration with India. And it works out perfectly in the sense when it comes to support, because sometimes issues go bad at night, in the middle of a night, and there we have a group that works 24/7. Well, of course, people in India are going to be awake, right? And it's easier for them to deal with than to have to wake up. But they still wake up people. I've been woken up in like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and I'm like, oh my God. But it is what it is. And in this case, the Exchange support people, email support people, whoever has access to these email servers is going to have to fix this if it's affecting, and it is affecting multiple people. I don't know what the actual issue might be. If Farman, if you are the guy who is the Exchange guy, I don't know what the issue may be. It could be some kind of indexing issue on the server itself. It could be performance issue. Look at the stats of the issue. Even if you just have access to the server, open up a task manager and see CPU loads, how much RAM is being used. See, of course, you have log files. It could be a bad hard drive on the Exchange server. It could be it could be low bandwidth on the Ethernet. There could be load on that. Check all of these basic things. There are more tools to you available if you are a server admin for the Exchange server. But here are the basics things. So you open up, you log into that server, and you're looking at this. So what could slow down this? Usually when it comes to indexing, and I talked about indexing a couple of videos back. It's basically caching information that's written and just basic metadata and stuff like that for easier access, for faster access. It tries to cache that. And if CPU cannot, let's pretend that this is the server. If this thing is not fast enough to process all the current information, even if it's like new emails that are coming through. And in this case, it's really bizarre that you're not able to search and get results for new emails because you received new emails, right? But if the server has to do some number crunching and do processing on the server itself, then that's probably what's going on. Some stuff is done. Some indexing is done locally because you do get a local OST file. Whenever you open up Outlook, the inbox itself is downloaded actually locally. It should be downloaded locally. So if you go to users, for example, here's Kobuman, and I want to say it's app data somewhere. Local maybe. I think it's local under Microsoft and then Outlook. And I don't have Outlook installed in here. Anyways, it's in here. And whenever you open up Inbox or open up Outlook locally, type in OST is created. .ost file is created under your local profile. And that's where that stuff is supposed to be. But if it's still not working and it's affecting multiple people, the only thing you can assume is that it has something to do with the server itself. Because this inbox itself is supposed to be locally stored. But why it's getting those results and affecting multiple people, the issue has to be with the server itself. Unless the entire company somehow got this bizarre virus that it's causing this problem, which is really weird. I would, however, ask you whether users are getting emails, on time. So test it. You can say, hey, okay, send me an email. And this is just to test the latency, right? This is just to test the latency. And here we can do, this thing still hasn't finished the check disk. That's okay. Uh, so you can do, this is just to test the latency, because it could be a network issue too. You know, if you're going to participate in the crisis bridge yourself and work on these issues, there are many things you can check and you can suggest, even if you're not allowed to do these things. So check latency by, having a coworker, hey, send me an email, and then you're like, okay, let me know exactly when you send it, and then you wait and you wait and you wait. There is a delay time, but it shouldn't be like, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, no more than like 1 minute to receive an email. I would suspect, right? But if it's like 5 or 10 minutes later that you get in, then there's some kind of latency issue. Well, how else can you look at that? Let's open up a command line. And I'm sorry, guys, this is getting slightly more advanced in the sense that just a regular tier 1 help desk, you may not be doing this. But if you want to test latency between a server and your computer, then you can do this. You can do a trace route, trace RT, and then type in Outlook.com. So Outlook.com is Microsoft's online version of Outlook. So instead of being Outlook installed locally, it's the online version of Outlook. And you see how it goes through all of these connections. They're basically network nodes. So it starts with your router. It says here Cisco, and then it goes through the gateway, and then it goes to the next node on the network, which is now internet at this point. This is outside. So it says here, it's outside. It's STL, MO, SBC, Global.com. SBC is AT&T. So if you don't know what that is, you type in SBC Global. What is that? That's AT&T. And then it goes to another node. And then it goes to the next node. And it says here, request timeout. Not necessarily bad, because some nodes, or I should say routers, switches, they don't allow a ping back. They just skip over it. And then it tells you the next path it takes. So trace route, it's literally tracing a route to the end server, in this case Outlook.com. But what you want to look at in this case is whether the response time is fast enough. 53 milliseconds is normal at the tail end of it. The higher it goes, the longer it may take to get a response. And this will do it for 30 hops, meaning it's going to try to do it 30 times until it gets to the end of it, till it reaches Outlook.com, which is at this address. Now, if you see there's a request timeout, now we're getting into network troubleshooting issues here. If you know that there's supposed to be a server here, I guess in your case it would be before you reach AT&T, which is the internet. But if it's still on the home net, or I should say business network, your company's network, then you look and say, well, why does it say request timeout? What's supposed to be there? And this is when you would get network people involved, etc., 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 which I'm not going to get into here because this is a help desk ticket. But once you go do help desk, you may become a network guy or a server admin and this and that. All right. I'm going to leave it at that. And again, check out the performance issues of the server if you have access to it. Is it missing memory? Is the CPU overloaded? All of these stuff can be indicators of something going on. Look at the process, which process might be causing the problem. Okay, Farman. I'm going to say this. The issue is most likely with the server. If it's affecting multiple users. I thought I missed, whatever, multiple users. Please see my video for suggestions. So I'm only doing this. This is not a proper way to contact actual user on a help desk. This is just me contacting, basically talking to another tech guy who may have this issue. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to close it. Again, this is not a typical help desk ticket at all. I don't want you to think that if you're doing help desk for the first time that you're going to be working on this. You know, this is something for at least tier 2, maybe even higher. I'm going to mark it as result. So again, notice how this is very unorthodox, the way I completed this ticket. So this is specifically for educational purposes of what might happen when you become something better and higher than help desk. You know, let's be honest, help desk is not the best job you can have unless you like talking to people and you work for an excellent company, then you might love it. But help desk, in my opinion, is more of like a stepping stone, and doing all of this, learning all of this will help you get better jobs, you know. And it's not easy, help desk. It's easy to resolve issues. Once you have more experience, meaning more you learn things. The more things you learn, the better you get it, the easier it becomes. That's simple as that. But you know, you might like it. You know, you might like it, but if you don't and you want to make more money, you move on, you know. Everything is a stepping stone in life. But if you're enjoying it and you like your company, you like your boss, you like your co-workers, there's nothing wrong with staying at help desk and maybe becoming a manager or something. You know, I don't know. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. I think that's long enough. I'm hoping I didn't go more than 45 minutes. I usually try to keep it around there. I wish you best of luck. Thank you for watching. I wish best of luck to you and your family. Best wishes. And stay safe out there. Be nice to people. Try to help out as much as you can. Whatever the issues that they may have. Whatever you can, just do the right thing and just, you know, be the best person you can be. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.